A 1-0 win over Newcastle United, a 3-point lead re-established in the title race. Yet more anxiety for Arsenal fans. The main reason for that was the nature of their performance. There was anxiety at the Emirates, and whether it was fatigue or nerves, it certainly wasn't easy. Do they have enough left in the tank to get them over the line?
Yeah, no one said it's going to be easy, Tom, and it's not. Let me tell you, the anxiety, you ain't seen nothing yet. I mean, they've got 4 games left and it gets harder and harder. I said it on Saturday, if they was to win that game against Newcastle and they beat Fulham at home, they will win the Premier League, in my opinion. I think 3 points with 3 games left, 6 points with 3 games left, to Man City, who have to go to the Hill Dickinson on their next game back. And I know Pep sent them away for a nice little holiday, but obviously David Moyes might give them a nice little break as well. So they'll be coming out firing. They feel unlucky not to get something at West Ham at the weekend. The anxiety will always be there. It will always be there until this group of players and this manager get over the line and they tick that box. Everyone will always be questioning their energy. It's easy to look tired when you're winning games. They look a lot fresher after the game at the weekend because they'd won. All of a sudden, that's a shot in the arm. It's a massive boost of confidence. And now you just got to keep ticking them off with maximum points. I thought Newcastle played okay. I really did. Wissa had a wonderful chance, didn't he, to score. And then their mood would have changed. But they got over the line. Just like Tottenham at the bottom of the division, that shot in the arm from that win, just that one win, might breed more wins, hopefully, for Tottenham. And hopefully not for Arsenal.
See, the thing with when you won the title with Blackburn, of your last 5 matches, you lost 3 of them.
Yeah.
How did you manage that when the performances had dipped from earlier in the season? You still managed to get over the line, but your form dipped.
Oh,
so what happened?
For that reason, for the anxiety, and you're playing teams. They got something to fight for, possibly at the bottom of the league. You know, there's no easy games in the Premier League. Nothing's changed. No one said it was easy. It's very hard to win the Premier League, but you have to get over the line. And they've obviously got the added thing in the back of their mind that they've come up short 3 times. So this could be another year where they might come up short. And it's unthinkable with the lead they've had. They've got to take all that aside now. They've got to look at 4 cup finals and they've got to take every game in isolation and they've got to tick them off. And if they win enough games, they will be the champions. And the relief, what they will feel in that last game of the season is just incredible. We felt it. They probably feel it a wee bit more because they, like I say, they've been third on 3 occasions. And they've got the great man there and Pep Guardiola chasing them down with the history of knowing how to do it time and time again. Now, I believe that they will drop points, Man City. I think that next game back, now, whether he sends them away on holiday or not, that decision will only be proved correct if they win that game. Otherwise, we'll all be sitting here in hindsight, benefit of hindsight, saying, why did he do that? They lost their edge, they lost their sharpness. Pep knows this. He's left himself open for criticism. Managers always open for criticism. If you win the next game, you're always going to be right as a manager. If you lose, we'll always find ways, sitting over here and the fans, to find the criticism of why they never won. And it will be, if they don't beat Everton at the Hill Dickinson, it will be because he sent them away for a break until Wednesday.
In terms of Arsenal,
it won't be that, but that's the reason why we would give it.
Okay, in terms of Arsenal looking tired, etc., and when you were doing it at Blackburn as well, can the nerves make you can they make your legs feel heavier?
Yeah.
For instance, I hear people a lot saying they go to a Wembley final, and they haven't got that energy that they normally have. Yeah. Is that just purely the weight of the expectations and the desire to get over the line? Yes,
but because they're so close to achieving something so great, and they've been so close for a number of years, and pretty much 3 months ago we had almost handed them the trophy and they had their hands on it. Now, for that group of players to believe that someone might rip that trophy off them and it might head up the M6 to Manchester is unthinkable. And they don't want that to happen to them again. It's the will and it's the belief that they can actually, and they're nearly there to be able to achieve it, and someone rips it away. It's an unbearable feeling that might happen to you, but it's realistic. That is why you become edgy. That's why I always believe you need to start the games really well. You need to fly out the blocks, see if you can take the anxiety away from the crowd, which is normal as well because they've been so close. They want it. The players want it, and the manager wants it probably more because they're in it. But the fans also have watched the team fail for many, many years. And this group of players and the players before them have not been able to achieve it for so long at Arsenal. So they all want it equally, let's say that. And that togetherness and the will to get over the line will always be anxious. It will have to be until they actually achieve it.
Yeah, and it is for fans as well. Let's speak to Nick Caramanlis. Nick, how nervous were you against Newcastle, despite the fact that you got the job done?
Yeah, do you know what? I love Tim being on here because he's a lot more positive than me at the moment. He's probably changed my mindset a little bit just listening to him. I'm torn. I'm torn after that game. What I was watching, I just wasn't totally convinced. But there's been a few games like that this season, and we're still top of the league. So you could argue that we've been doing it. But I think many fans and pundits even said after the City game this would be a bit more expansive. Arsenal look like they'll go for it a bit more. And we started like we did against Bournemouth, where Asula went clean through within the first few minutes. Yeah. We were doing 1-2s in our own area. We couldn't get out of the box. And do you know what? For the last few seasons, I will go on my social media channels after the game and I will tell the truth about Arsenal, how I feel, and win, lose or draw. And when we win, it's almost like you can't criticise them. And I get it. 3 points is all we need at the moment. We're in a foot race right now, so I don't care how we play. But the reality is, if we keep playing like that against the Fulham, who are going to be pushed, I mean, let's face it, Newcastle are not on great form at the moment, right? And they still could have nicked a draw at our grounds. Fulham's going to press us a lot higher. You've got West Ham who are struggling to survive at the moment. For me, I'm not as confident as you, Tim, if I'm being honest.
Well, Paul Merson said that if you beat Fulham, you'll win the league. Do you not agree with that?
Well, until the points are done, it's not done, is it? Because, look, if we beat Fulham, it's a great result. But then we've still got West Ham, So I think the harder games are at home at the moment. It's a little bit nervy, the crowd's a bit nervy as well. And they've got the right to be. I mean, the players are nervy. Why can't we be nervy? So, look, if we beat Fulham, great result. Doesn't mean we win the league, though. There's a long way to go still.
Nick, you'd rather have your fixtures than Man City's fixtures. I would. If I was managing either team, I wouldn't want to go to the Hill Dickinson. I think that's a tough place to go. And I think they was unlucky at the weekend not to get something from West Ham. And I certainly wouldn't want to go to the Vitality on the last home game of the season for Iriola. That is going to be a carnival atmosphere. And not only that, you've got a group of players who want to play on the biggest occasion. All eyes will be on that game. And load of these players, we've seen it before. Last season, they've lost the whole of their back five. Not only left Bournemouth, but left to huge clubs. PSG, Liverpool, Real Madrid. They'll want to do that again. These players don't want to stay at Bournemouth all their career. That is going to be such a tough game for Man City.
Of course, you're right. And that's why you get all these Opta stats that say, well, Arsenal have got like 60, 70% chance and City 20, 30% chance. But it's not quite like that either, because it almost doesn't matter who we face at the moment. We proved that against Wolves. Our biggest opponent is ourselves. They're like a rabbit in the headlights. I get there's nerves, I get it, but come on, guys. Look, we went a goal up very early fairly early against Newcastle from Eze, who, by the way, is probably the only guy on the pitch at the moment has got that moment in him.
You've got Saka back. Saka's back, mate.
Yeah. But at in the last few weeks, Eze's been the only one that could get that moment. And yet, as soon as we got the goal, we just retreated again because of the nerves and the heavy legs. And it's just like, come on, guys, let's do this. Let's get over the line. And until they get over the line, Tim, they haven't yet proven to me in the last 3, 4, 5 years that they can do it when it counts. Yeah. And that's my worry at the moment. So it doesn't matter who we play or who City play. City have got the experience to go away at Bournemouth and go and smash them. They've done it before and they can do it.
Yeah. We've got a voice note from RW.
Oh, guys, of course Arsenal haven't got enough fuel in the tank, man. The difference between Man City and Arsenal is Man City have got a prolific striker. Arsenal went out and got a striker whose numbers were fantastic. So you can't fault them for that. So, in my opinion, it all boils down to the manager. Arteta is a Spanish Gareth Southgate. Arsenal will not win the league, they will win nothing.
What do you think to that, Nick?
Listen, he is, he's not the most, he can be quite negative. But look, it's no coincidence we started to struggle recently to score when you look at our front three, because it doesn't matter, you say, he says we bought this striker, but for me, Gyökeres, and I think Arteta kind of realised it now, he's not cutting it. The ball bounces off his chest. He doesn't win aerial battles. He's got no pace to get away from the defenders. That pass at the end was criminal when we were 3 or 4 on 1. Saka coming on, like you said, Tim, for me, he hasn't played well all season, but even with his lack of match fitness, he looked far more dangerous in those few minutes than Madueke has done in the last how many games. And Eze, who isn't even a natural left winger, is putting Martinelli and Trossard to shame. Yeah. So I think it does come down to our fitness for the last few games. Can Havertz stay fit? Can Eze stay fit? Can Saka stay fit? And then we've got a chance.
I think you've got 2 important players to come back. Timber, massive.
Timber.
Marino might be the difference.
Yeah, Marino as well. So players coming back for Arsenal at a crucial time. And of course, on Wednesday, big game against Atletico Madrid. Good luck, Nick.
Thank you.